Hello students, welcome you all to class 12 accounts class. We are going to start this session with chapter 13 from volume 2 and the name of the chapter is ratio analysis. We are quite familiar with the term ratio, which is an arithmetical expression of relationship between two related or interdependent items. It is found by dividing one number by the another. So the definition of ratio analysis is ratio analysis means establishment of meaningful relationship between components of financial statements. So financial statements generally means the balance sheet or the statement of profit and loss. Next comes the expression of ratios. So generally ratios are expressed in the following ways. The first one is pure. So when we are expressing the ratio as a quotient, for example, if I ask you to find the ratio of 2000 and 1000, so we'll divide 2000 by 1000, that is 2. The answer is 2. It can also be expressed as 2 is to 1. In this form, always keep in mind that we have to convert the denominator to 1. Second one is percentage. So here the above fractional form or the fraction form is converted into percentage form just by multiplying the fraction into 100. The third one is times. So when we are comparing two commodities or two amount, we are the answer which we are getting will be written in terms of times. Next comes the fourth one is fraction. So again, when comparing two items or two commodities, the we are expressing it in terms of fraction. For example, if I say that a company was having a sales of rupees 20 lakh in the year 2019 and their profit was rupees 16 lakh. So we can say that the profit of the company in 2019 was 4/5 of its sales. So this is the fraction way we are representing the ratio in fractional form. Now let's talk about the advantages and uses of ratio analysis. The first point is useful in analysis of financial statement. That is, the bankers, investors, creditors, and many more people all analyze the balance sheet and statement of profit and loss by means of the ratios. Thus, it helps in understanding the financial position of the enterprise. Second point, useful in assessing the operating efficiency of business. That is, the operating efficiency of the business is determined with the help of activity ratios such as inventory turnover ratios, working capital turnover ratios. We will be learning all these types of ratios in the upcoming part. And who finds out the efficiency of the business? The management. Third is useful in determining profitability. So the management and investors can determine the profitability with respect to the sales and capital employed. That is done with the help of profitability ratios such as gross profit ratio, net profit ratio, operating profit ratio. We have learned this type of profits, gross profit, net profit in the final accounts in class 11. Here in this chapter, we'll also learn how to find the ratio from those. Next comes the useful for forecasting. So ratios are generally helpful in business planning and forecasting because generally the trend of ratios helps us to analyze and it is also used as a guide for future planning. Many a times the future course of action is decided on the basis of the trend of ratios. The fifth point, useful in identifying the weak areas. So the management can pay attention to the weakness of the business or the firm by looking into the ratios. The overall performance of the company may be satisfactory, but the ratio will also help the management to find out where the weakness of the company is lying and what remedial actions should the company take to overcome those weaknesses. The last point is useful in interfirm and intrafirm comparison. So Comparison is when we are comparing the performance of the enterprises with one enterprise with the other. So inter-firm comparison means when we are comparing the performance of two different enterprise, um, that is known as inter-firm comparison, when two different enterprise or firms are compared to one another. On the other hand, intra-firm comparison means when the if the performance of different units of the same firm is compared, it is known as intra-firm comparison. I hope you have understood the difference between inter-firm and intra-firm comparison. Now let's talk about the limitations of ratio analysis. First point is misleading if based on incorrect information. So ratios are calculated from financial statement, as we all know. Now if the financial statements are not correct, so your ratio will also show a false picture. Second point is definitions of terms not standardized. Now exactly when we are taking the elements or sub elements from financial statement to find out the ratios, it is nowhere mentioned that exactly all the firms should follow the same method or same way of finding the ratios. So some firm may find out the profit after interest and tax, other may find out the profit after tax but before interest, or someone might find the profit before interest and tax. So all these things will make it difficult for us to compare the different firms or the ratios of different firms. Third point, not comparable if different firms show different accounting policies. So when the result of two firms are being compared, we have to always keep in mind that they might not follow the same accounting policies. For example, one might follow the straight line method of depreciation, other might follow the diminishing balance method of depreciation. Thus, it will be difficult for us to compare the two ratios of the two different firms. Next comes window dressing. As we are all familiar with the term window dressing, which means manipulation of accounts so that they can conceal the vital facts and present the financial statement better than what they actually are. So on such situations, the particular ratio may not be a definite indicator of good or bad management. Last comes the personal bias, that is, different people may interpret the ratios in a different way. Okay, so personal judgment plays an important role in preparing financial statements, and so the different people may give different judgments. The last topic of this part is classification or types of accounting ratios. In this chapter, we'll be learning about the four type of ratios. So number one is liquidity ratios, second one solvency ratios, third one activity ratios, and the fourth one is profitability ratios. In the upcoming part, we will be learning elaborately about all these types of ratios. So see you in the next part. Thank you.